Today we're gonna find out how similar or different Blood Manipulator is to Jujutsu Kaisen's Choso. To determine this, we will be going over every single thing about the character to truly determine if it is the best Choso on Roblox. Choso is a reincarnated cursed womb death painting just like his two brothers, Iso and Kechizuru. He is also technically related to Yuji due to his connection through Kenjaku. You see, Kenjaku planned for both of their births but considered the death paintings as failures, which then led him to personally making Yuji. Yes, I mean personally. Choso spent 150 years as a sentient womb, therefore allowing him to master his curse technique and take it beyond any previous blood manipulator before him. Choso's technique is called blood manipulation and allows the user to control and shape their blood beyond its natural form or motion for a variety of effects. It can be used to manipulate every aspect of the user's blood, including blood composition, plasma, and red blood cells. Internal and external blood can be utilized as long as it belongs to the user. Not to mention that Choso is a master at hand-to-hand combat, has high tactical intellect, can convert curse energy into blood, and his blood is poisonous due to the physiology of being a death painting. But firstly, let's talk about the cosmetic changes. Your M1s now include punches and kicks, as well as your character outline changing to red to be more on theme to Choso. After that, we have to talk about the special. Blood Manipulator special is called Convergence. It can be activated by pressing R or the special button, and it will cause you to create 4 blood orbs that will circle around your avatar. In base, these do absolutely nothing, but when in combination with certain attacks, it can create variants. Convergence in JJK is when Choso compresses and condenses the blood to its absolute limit with cursed energy. This is the key component of most of his powerful attacks. Choso can activate this by pulling out blood from his body, just like the animation in game. Okay, now we can get into the moveset. The first move is called Piercing Blood. The user claps their hands together and fires a thin beam of blood that can be held and aimed. This is crazy because Choso does exactly this in the anime. Choso creates a deadly fast blood beam fired through the seams of his fingers that can be bent and shaped how he likes. In game, you can only shoot a straight beam, but I think that's only because of game balancing. This move also has a variant. If you were to have Convergence activated, you can then hold down the attack to fire a charged Piercing Blood that does significantly more damage and travels further. During his fight with Yuji, Choso stated that one of his Piercing Bloods were not charged enough and that is why he survived the attack. But he usually doesn't make this mistake, which is much more similar to the charge variant. These attacks don't have any finishers, but I wish Blood Manipulator had more. Following that is Flowing Red Scale. This rush attack causes the user to dash a short distance and perform a short combo on the opponent before kicking them away. This is not a specific combo that Choso does in the anime/manga, but it is a thing that he does do. The difference is that it's not a combo, it's an application of his technique. Flowing Red Scale is used to improve the performance of the user's body by pumping blood faster throughout their body, allowing them to take in more oxygen. This then improves their pulse rate and the number of red blood cells, granting a drastic increase in strength and speed. So, could Choso do this combo while using Flowing Red Scale? Yes, but it's not exactly the same. There are 2 more variants for this attack that are both aerials. By performing this move in air, you will then do a spinning kick straight down to the ground. I tried searching for this, but I couldn't find anything specifically like it, so if you know, please comment. Finally is the aerial variant, but with Convergence. This will cause the user to perform the same kick, but will now leave this blood orb where you land. This is a remote blood bomb that can be exploded with the special. This does do damage to both you and the opponent, but I think less to the user as well as no ragdoll. This is actually something Choso has done and can be seen in his first encounter with Kenjaku. I say that because this orb can be used as a movement tool to launch towards your opponent or even upwards to get away, just like Choso did here. None of these have any finishers, but the only thing that needs to be finished is that subscribe button. We're almost at 50k, so if you want to be a part of this journey earlier on and flex to your friends, go ahead and subscribe, please. Alright, next is Supernova. In base, this move is a counter attack that will cause you to do this little combo, then launching them away while also activating your Convergence. And this does not take away from the user's blood, so that's nice. When a player already has Convergence, it will instead throw out one of your blood orbs in the direction you choose and will stay there until you either detonate it by pressing your special again or losing it if you were to be hit. The first part of this attack is simple and comes from this scene in the anime. This is the moment that Yuji was defeated shortly after Choso found out that he was his little brother. Some may have thought that this was due to Itadori's powers, but really it was due to Choso's ability to sense any transformations of his younger brothers no matter how far they are, with death being considered a transformation, which explains how he knew when Izo and Kechizu died and why he was flooded with false memories as he was about to kill Yuji. The second part of supernova is taken from this scene, which is a much better representation of what the actual supernova is like in game. Supernova is a Choso original technique that was created after honing it for 150 years. Detonates several orbs of blood condensed with convergence and fires reinforced blood bullets in every direction. This is an extremely powerful attack that would actually leave most sorcerers incapacitated. No finisher for either variant, but I hope it gets one day. Now onto Blood Edge, which allows the user to create 2 blades of blood and grab onto the opponent, finally slamming them on the ground. This again is a real thing that Choso does in the show. Blood Edge allows him to shape and strengthen his blood's lethality by rotating it at high speeds, allowing Choso to shape the blood outside of his body into a dagger. Choso doesn't do this exact combo, but definitely could if he wanted to. This is one of the few attacks that actually has a finisher, but I don't know where it's from. Kind of feels like a Toji reference. Okay. Now we have to talk about the awakening titled Duty as a Brother. The animation looks like this and reads, "Brothers, lend me your strength. I will fulfill my duty as the eldest brother." Both these phrases come from his fights with Kenjaku, and the animation is very reminiscent of this moment. Choso doesn't necessarily have an awakening moment in the manga, but the closest thing he has to it is in his second fight against Kenjaku. Fighting alongside Yuki, he was able to find peace and figure out who he wanted to be. So maybe that was a mental and emotional awakening. The first move of the ultimate is called Slicing Exorcism. The user creates a blood blade and winds up an attack before swinging and releasing it towards your target. This can bounce off of objects and will auto-lock onto players in its path. If you do this attack in the air, you can actually aim it better, but it doesn't change the attack. Slicing Exorcism is also a move that Choso does, which is when he unleashes sharpened blood that rapidly flies through the air and slices through Choso's target. This version is much more similar to the variant of this attack, which can be done by holding your special while doing it. It will cause you to use convergence and fire a direct beam of blood until you run out of it. Choso is also capable of forming it into a rotating chakram for a singular attack, just like the base Slicing Exorcism. No finisher for this attack, but if you do slice them in half, you are going to do the World Cutting Slash finisher. After that is Wayne King, which causes the user to lunge towards the target with a flurry of brutal punches and kicks, ending the combo by throwing their hand at them attached by blood in order to pull them into a devastating punch to the face. This is one of the special moves of Choso's younger brother, Izo, which he drew inspiration from in his fight with Kenjaku. His version is a little different due to it being smaller and more of a diversion for other attacks, but the similarities can be seen when convergence is activated. The blood orbs will start spinning around your back just like Choso, with the exception of the small wings. The last part of the attack is also straight from the Kenjaku fight and looks exactly how it does in the game. Most people don't talk about this, but there is a variant to this attack which you can do by spamming R while using it, which will cause you to shoot your supernova at them without having to aim it. This is just like what Choso did to Kenjaku by hiding his supernova behind the wings of blood. Z is the GOAT, bruh, what can I say? But no finisher for this attack. Moving on to Blood Rain, which you can probably tell from the name, allows you to summon a giant ball of blood and then unleash it in a medium distance around you until you either run out of your awakening or toggle the attack off. And other moves can be used while Blood Rain is active. This is taken from the couple moments in the anime, but not exactly how it is in game. One instance is this brief moment against Yuji, but it's much more similar to this moment against Kenjaku, where after shooting piercing blood into the air, he was able to summon the blood back and rain it down on him. Pause. Who wrote that? No finisher. And finally, the last move is called Plasma Wave. This charged up attack caused you to take your technique to the maximum by creating a total of 14 convergence orbs to fire a massive beam of blood, deleting anything in its path. Unfortunately, this doesn't come from anything in the anime/manga, but it is something that Choso could do and is probably a good theory on what his maximum technique would look like. Okay, now it's time to grade how similar Blood Manipulator is to JJK's Choso. With almost every move being exactly like the anime counterpart, and with all of the names being accurate to Choso's moveset, with the only exception being of Pulse Wave, I'm gonna give Blood Manipulator a similarity rating of an A+ to Jujutsu Kaisen. It's just too uncanny, bro. This is probably the highest rated similarity rating I've ever given a character in this game. But if you want to know what I gave the other characters, then you should probably go click this playlist where I break down all of the other ones that have ever been in the game. And if you enjoyed your time here, consider leaving a like and subscribing, because your boy's trying to hit 50k before the end of this year, and I'm so close. But Millz Mafia out. Yeah,